I feel like the best of horror shows or movies are somewhere between, say, supernatural and psychological, because you don't know till like it's in your head or is it actually real. I think that's everyday horror for a lot of us.
The horror exists everywhere all the time.
Yeah. But you spoke about how the audiences want to see themselves in the characters. So when you're playing that tough cop, so when are you playing that tough cop, and when, because I think the audience is also discovering the show or the story through you, through your character. So when is it, because how do you handle that dichotomy that I am, as an audience member, I am very scared, but as a character I'm supposed to be very tough. So how did you navigate that?
Okay, see, obviously I love reading. So when I was reading the script, I was kind of in the audience's space. But when you're actually performing, you go into a lot of technicalities of it. So the horror, you have to create that experience for the audiences to feel it, and you have to actually make believe that you're actually that scared. But in that moment, you know how technical it is, you know how it's shot. So I don't feel I ever felt that yahan pe abhi bhoot hai. But I think it's just that with Kalpana as a character, there are two things that I really connect with. First is that she's very persistent and very determined.
Yeah.
And second is that there is it's a very unique, unidentifiable vulnerability in her that actually helps her find what she is, the journey that she has chosen for herself. So I think that makes it more unique.
Yeah.
And also, just to add to that, because Priya is a very nuanced performer. She's impeccable at the craft of performing. So she really gets into the skin of the character, and when she starts performing, she's not really thinking of she is the character. So for us, that made the job very easy, in the process, because she was the character. She was not thinking about audience. She was not thinking about anything apart from the fact, what would Kalpana think in this situation? And that makes the job of everybody around her very easy. And horror as a genre is very challenging, because there is a certain amount of craft involved. There is a certain amount of technicality involved with building the scares or, building suspense or things like that. But you have to completely cut yourself from all that and remain connected to the emotion of the character, emotion of the story. And therefore, horror, a lot of people think that horror is like not something which is great in terms of, they don't rank it very high. But the true followers of horror understand that horror is the most difficult genre, and which is why people don't try it, because it's a very difficult genre to crack.
It has to play with your emotions and your psyche. That's it. I mean, if it can haunt you psychologically, then it has done the job.
And both me and Gaurav, the creator of the show, we've both grown up on horror, on comic books, on we're both kids from the 90s. We've grown up with the whole world of Korean horror and Japanese horror, and we watched Ramsey Brothers also. We watched Raat also, and we watch all the horror shows that come out. So we are fans. And horror is something that keeps changing because the technology is advancing so fast that horror keeps changing with it, because like I said, it's a craft oriented thing. So, but having said that, it's not only craft. There has to be a solid emotional core to the story. And Andhera for us was that.
You were saying something about Raat?
No. I just the cat
She's
in
scared,
the cat shot in the trailer reminds me of Raat. It's like that was the last film. No, I think Con came after that, but I think I rewatched Raat much later. So
why would you do that to yourself?
I don't know, just to explore, I think that was only when I was with my cousins. I need somebody to watch horror with me, and I'll be like this when I'm watching.
Horror is more fun when you watch with more people, because you can also, it's a experience.
And it would be a real horror if you watch it all alone.
So there are shots in the trailer where you're obviously a tough cop, but there are shots where we see you getting scared, out of your wits. So I'm just asking in like good humor, where was that like when you were directing? Was that like, okay, now activate the real Priya. Now you want to see.
No, I think you know what. I think the whole the atmosphere that was on the set, everybody's intensities on the set, and the fact that we were shooting most of the night shifts helped us in that space.
Yeah.
Because when you're in a sleepless state, when
Exactly.
you're tired, when you're anyways more,
Exhausted
exhausted,
and vulnerable.
and when things happen unexpectedly on set. So it would always be slightly unexpected for her, in the sense that she knew what was going to happen, but she didn't know exactly at what time, from which
Yeah.
direction, when.
Yeah.
And sometimes those spontaneous things really help you get the real
Absolutely.
emotion out. So.
Yes, since you shot mostly at night, and the show is called Andhera, I was thinking that we take darkness for granted, because there's light, so there'll be darkness. Like gone are those days where we are scared to walk alone because maybe we always have a phone with us or something like that. So how did you play on that, on having Andhera or darkness as the chief, as the main villain, so to say?
So the inspiration for that is, Bombay is a big city, right? Mumbai is a big city, and in Mumbai, when you walk out in the night, there are lots of lights, but there are also dark corners.
Yeah.
And everybody is scared to go into the dark for some reason. But what is dark? Dark is just the absence of light, and that absence of light, it's metaphorically, if you think of it, it's like you think of light as hope. And darkness is despair. So somewhere for us, that was a connection that really worked for us. And the only leap we had to take was, what if this darkness was alive? What if you didn't want to go into the darkness, but the darkness was to come after you? So that was the inspiration. Does that answer your question?
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Wow.
And you know a thing or two about darkness.
I'm glad I'm interviewing with the maker himself so that all those difficult questions about the script and the content goes right to him. The one who made it.